Before we dive into the Cowboys' preseason matchup against the Falcons, here's a little incentive for you. Today's most active commenters will score a free entry into our preseason jersey raffle. That's right. Flood the comments, type me, type whatever, and you might just be walking away with some Cowboys gear. Let's make the section blow up right now. Alright, let's get into the meat of today's show. We're breaking down the top 10 Cowboys players to watch, plus a few bonus names I'll sprinkle in as we go along. This is all leading up to the Cowboys' preseason finale at home against Atlanta. And to kick things off, it's no surprise that Joe Milton tops the list. Reports suggest he'll be under center again, and honestly, we need a much better performance than what we've seen so far. His preseason numbers haven't been pretty. 6% completion against the Rams, 50% against the Ravens. Yards per attempt ticked up a little, but touchdowns have vanished, and deep ball accuracy still leaves a lot to be desired. This game might be pivotal for the Cowboys' quarterback situation. How Milton performs could influence whether Dallas leans on Will Grier or if they decide to explore other options entirely. His inconsistency has been frustrating, and while we all hope for improvement, the truth is the Joe Milton experience so far has been rocky, unpredictable, and sometimes downright painful. So, here's the question: how confident are you in Joe Milton? Scale it 1 to 10 in the comments, 1 being no faith, 10 being fully convinced he'll light up the Falcons. Be sure to pin that comment too. Next up, we've got Jaydon Blue, the rookie running back who finally looks set to play after missing the first 2 preseason games due to injury. This is a huge step forward for him, and everyone's curious about how much work he'll actually see. Will he get a significant share of carries, or will the team ease him in with limited reps while Maffa, Deuce, Malik Davis, and maybe even Miles Sanders take touches? The 5th-round pick has explosive potential, and I genuinely think he's a lock to make the roster. Meanwhile, Sanders, despite his guaranteed minimum contract, hasn't been particularly impressive. 7 carries for 15 yards in his last outing with some questionable vision. He needs to step up in this matchup if he wants to secure his spot. Speaking of rookies, Ryan Finley has caught my attention. Small sample size, so far 3 catches for 47 yards, but the talent is evident. If Milton had connected more, Finley could easily have surpassed 100 yards. With Mingo heading to IR to start the season, there may be 2 open wide receiver spots behind Lamb, Pickens, Tolbert, and Turpin, so Finley, Brooks, and maybe Tan Holden are all fighting for survival. Holden remains the odd man out based on current depth chart pecking order, but this game could change that. Before we move on, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Chubbies. Summer might be winding down, but there's still time to let your legs breathe. The lined swim collection and stretch shorts are perfect for your last cookouts, brunches, or backyard parties before fall hits. Pair with a performance polo, and you're golden. Use code CHATSPORTS for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/chatsports, link in the description and comments. Support the show and keep your summer vibes alive. Back to the players, Princeton Fant is one I'm watching closely. After a solid showing in the second preseason game, he caught praise from Brian Schottemer for physicality and versatility. As an H-back hybrid, Fant can block, catch, and make plays in a variety of ways. Can he continue this momentum and secure that 4th tight end spot on the 53-man roster? This matchup against Atlanta will be critical. Then there's Mazi Smith, a 3rd-year first-round pick who still needs to show more. His potential is clear, but preseason performance so far has been underwhelming. The Cowboys have to balance setting him up for success with demanding results, and we'll see if he can take a step forward in this game. Be sure to sound off in the comments why for yes and for no. Do you want Maisie Smith making the roster? Perry Winfrey is another defensive player to watch. His stats might not jump off the page: 2 tackles, but he's shown disruption, penetration, and some pressure in his limited reps. He's fighting for a spot, and this game could be his chance to solidify it. James Houston is in a similar position. He's been quietly one of the edge rushers, putting in consistent work during preseason, showing flashes of dominance in both pass rush and run defense. Linebacker Shemar James has been impressive too. 12 tackles, 8 solo, and while there's still room for improvement in coverage, the young linebacker is proving his worth. Handpicked by Matt Ibrafu, James has the potential to develop into a key piece of the defensive puzzle. Finally, we circle back to the secondary with Kim Hall. After getting reps at nickel in the final practice before the Falcons game, Hall has a chance to solidify a spot alongside Donte Bland on the inside. He was on track to make the team last year before injury derailed him, so this is a pivotal opportunity for him to prove he belongs in the rotation. This preseason finale is more than just a tune-up. It's a make-or-break moment for multiple players across the Cowboys roster. From Milton and Jaydon Blue to Finway, Font, Smith, and Hall, every snap matters. Every play could shift depth chart hierarchies, and every standout performance could carve a permanent place on the 53-man roster. And of course, we'll be live for the Falcons game and all regular season contests this year, so hit that subscribe button and don't miss a second of the action. The Cowboys have a chance to get their first preseason win, set the tone for September, and showcase some young talent that could define their future. So, who do you have in this one? C for Cowboys, F for Falcons, sound off in the comments, and let's get ready for what promises to be an exciting, telling showdown at a TNT stadium. Now, let's talk about the intangible stuff: the energy, the matchups, and the moments that don't always show up on the stat sheet. The Falcons aren't pushovers. They've been experimenting with some young players of their own, and that means the Cowboys have to be sharp from the opening snap. Every rep for the rookies and bubble players is essentially a live audition, and the veterans can't afford to take their foot off the gas either. This is the perfect stage for Jaydon Blue to flash his explosiveness, for Milton to prove he can lead under pressure, and for the defensive front to show that depth and physicality can overcome any preseason jitters. Coaches are watching every detail, fans are scrutinizing every play, and one big play here or there could make the difference between a roster spot or another week on the sidelines. It's the final rehearsal before the real show begins in September, and every player has to bring their A game.